Hey, good morning. Uh, at this point, it's not even a question of whether Donald Trump won or not. That's really almost like a secondary issue. What the question is, can we trust these elections? After years and years of both parties and many, many people complaining and, tens of hundreds of videos being made of people hacking voter machines, I think it's a solid question, you know, and whether there was voting irregularities last time or not, that just adds to the case. At this point, there's too many things wrong here. And we can't have elections going forward like this with all these irregularities. Even the company, even the country that, incorporated this Dominion voting system organization doesn't use their machines, and they don't use any electronic voting machines. People have suspected these electronic voting machines were hackable, that they were, capable of producing bias for many, many years. Okay? And this idea that you have to have widespread, pervasive, proof, it doesn't even make any difference. Okay? Because when you have political parties involved in something, there doesn't necessarily need to be even like an organized effort to do this, like a conspiracy, because people independently in their own precincts will act, towards the same goal through whatever means that they need to use. All right, I'll just give you my example that I know about personally, okay? I was involved with Ron Paul's electoral activities twice. And the second time, I was heavily involved in 2012, all right? I organized, I did door knocking. I was even the head of the precinct, okay? The precinct I was in charge of was the same one in Metairie, Louisiana, where this poor guy got, the congressman was shot at the baseball field, all right? And so before that happened, in 2012, we had a primary. And first of all, the way it was organized was rigged. They purposely tried to schedule on a day that they thought Ron Paul voters wouldn't show up. Then when we had the vote, we won by a significant amount. It was very obvious from the makeup of the people in the room. So at the end of the day, there was time to count the votes. They didn't want us to take pictures. They didn't want us to take video. They tried to throw us out of the room. And luckily, there weren't cops there that they had hired, like we saw in these places in, Pennsylvania and Michigan, where they just, used the police to shoo away the people that were supposed to be observing the election, shoo away and, with the threat of being arrested. Okay. And then there was actually literally people intimidating, like physically, like, I'm going to kick your ass if you try to come in this room. Okay. That just doesn't work at all. Beyond that, these elections have to be certifiable, and you can't certify an election. All right. It's not like a normal situation where you have to prove a negative. Like if they are, let's just say that they certify the election and Joe Biden wins. That's not going to be good enough when you have 72, 75 million people and only 3% of them think the election was legitimate. So I can tell you right now, after the cheating that I saw, because what happened at the 2012 Republican State Convention in Louisiana, even though we had 73% of the people in the room, and we had our dues, our fees that we paid, hired the state police that were there. The head of the Republican Party in Louisiana had us arrested. They had our leadership arrested. They had the people presenting the rules arrested and thrown out of the room by the state police. So this just doesn't work, okay? You're not just going to be able to say, okay, Joe Biden wins. You have to accept it. No, we don't. And there's too many Democrats, Elizabeth Warren and many other people questioning these voting machines prior to the election. When they thought Russia was interfering, they literally said they thought Russia hacked the machines last time. So that just doesn't work. Nothing has changed. We're still using these crappy voting machines. They're still susceptible to fraud, and no one really trusts them. Why are we even allowed them to still be used in this country? I have no idea, except that people just want fraud, because I mean, I guess I could go back and get some clips and splice them in here to be super cool video editor, but that's just everybody knows. It's like, I know that's a logical fallacy. Everybody knows, but literally everybody knows that these voting machines are crap. They're not used in many places, and the places they have been used, people have assumed there was fraud and proved there was fraud before, especially with this company and with these people. It's not going to be good enough to just wallpaper over this problem anymore. As a matter of fact, many people like me, after the 2012 election, I know hundreds of people that became, ANACAPs, capitalistic anarchists, that said that we're not going to vote anymore unless this is cleaned up because we know there is cheating. I wish I wasn't right. It really makes me feel bad now because I really felt better now that I have what I have now in my brain. I felt better when everyone thought I was a whacked out idiot. Okay, now now everybody knows that I was telling the truth, and it's really worse. Okay, I had people when the COVID started. My jiu-jitsu professor in particular, he's a really great guy, and I love him, and he's an awesome person. He's an awesome physician. Okay. He got kind of mad at me because I had a shirt on that said taxation is theft. And I told him, look, dude, we're all slaves. All right. And he got, he's a good American. So he never heard that crap before. And he's like, man, that was just, really bad. It kind of triggered him. Right. And I had to explain to him why I thought these things. It still didn't sit well with him. Well, I think he knows what I'm talking about now. And I think everybody does. So I'm just putting the word out now that this isn't going to be good enough to just declare Trump the loser and Joe Biden the winner. It's not going to work like that, okay? You got a serious problem here. As I pointed out yesterday, one of the main ways to demoralize people has always been to reduce everyone's faith in the election, where everyone knows the election is fraud, like you have in dictatorships, okay, where the dictator gets elected with 100% of the vote, okay? We have counties that overreported the votes. There were only 3,700 registered voters in the county, and they turned in 23,000 votes, okay? And that's what I mean. Like every little precinct, they have these drones that work for the party. They don't have to have meetings. Everybody knows what they're going to do, okay? And another thing they do is so much outrage that you can't concentrate on one thing. So I just want to concentrate on this one thing. Make me believe these elections are right again. Prove to me that there was no fraud. All right? Because from what I see, there's something needs to be explained here of how there could be so many affidavits of people that saw things and how there can be so much discrepancy and they're all in favor of Biden, okay? I don't care if Trump had won by a landslide at this point, I still would be suspicious, all right? So that's all I got for you today. It's not good enough. It's not good enough to just declare Biden the winner. You're going to have to prove to 70-something million people that they want to vote again, or you're going to have a mass rebellion in this country, and the only people that's going to support these elections are Democrats. Y'all have a nice day. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, if you can. Bye.